But I'm going to tell you a story. I'm trying to explain to you my life story and my wife's life story within 3 minutes. I grew up in Plainfield, New Jersey. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. I grew up in Linden, New Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey. I lived around the corner from New York. I'm not used to a lot of things. I'm not used to folks coming out, helping out, volunteering, donating, giving, contributing. I'm not used to that. I'm used to the streets. I'm used to glass, drugs, gangs, fights, and apartments. That's all I knew in life. When we moved to Florida, we moved to an apartment in one of the roughest, nastiest spots in Lake County called Eustis Manors. And it still exists. From there, we moved to another apartment, my mother and I, to another hardcore apartment in Leesburg, around the corner from Carver Shores. It's called Birchwood, excuse me. And from there, we moved to Orlando, to one of the worst apartment complexes I've ever seen in my entire life, called Edgewater Point. And I thank God that place has been torn down. Around the time before it tore it down, we was there. We were one of the last families to live in Edgewater Point. And they came to us, and they said, you got to go. Not just one family, but the whole dirty dozen of you. All of you got to go. No one's allowed here anymore. You got to leave. The place wasn't the greatest place, I got to admit it, but it was a place to lay my head down. There was cracks in the walls. There was mildew growing in corners. There was roaches. There was rats. There was some of the nasty stuff I've ever seen. But when they said we got to go, we couldn't stay because they had Orange County backing them up. So we left. Around Christmas time, while a lot of folks were opening up gifts with their loved ones, my mother and I, we were looking for a home. So we moved around the corner to Eatonville, and I'm just going to leave it at that. From there, I came of age and decided that I'm just going to go ahead and move out on my own. So I thought I was Mr. Big Stuff, and I moved in with a couple of co-workers of mine into, it was a house, great, Finally got a house to call my own, but, when you're sharing with 3 other roommates, it's not really your own, It's theirs, too, but they made that well known. So from there, they done the same thing what happened to me in Edgewater Point. We got to go. So I moved on into another cruddy apartment called Dunwoody over at Rio Grande and Texas Avenue. You go there right now. Please go in the daytime. You go at night, you make a shot. But from there, I met my wife. And my wife was, I knew my wife back in 96. And we was introduced by a friend. And it was off and on. I got a good thing. I know a good thing when I say a good thing. My dad-in-law is right here, so, I got the thumbs up. But my wife, at the time we were dating, and she was involved with Habitat. And I didn't know that, So she was like, we got married. So I thought, Lord, thank you for this marriage. Lord, we got a baby, and we come together with 2 other kids, and now we're a blended family. We're a family of 5. We moved into another apartment off of Mercy Drive. 5 people living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. I felt a little safe because we was on the 2nd floor. I didn't have to watch my back too much. I kept my ears open for the gunshots and make sure that they weren't headed our way. Had my car broke into there and had some other things happen to me there. And my wife says, I'm involved, we're involved with Habitat for Humanity. So I was like, Habitat for Humanity? I didn't even know what that was, Habitat for Humanity. The word habitat, and humanity, I put the 2 together. It can't be a bad thing. So I said to my wife, well, let's check it out. Let's talk to Greg, see what's going on. And at the time, my credit wasn't the greatest. I was sweating bullets. I was sweating. I just became a truck driver, and I'm telling you, I was just starting off as a truck driver, and you get no respect when you start off because they want you to have 2 years driving experience. And I was doing my best, driving garbage trucks, working for 7-Eleven overnight, trying to figure out a way to provide for a family. But my wife says, Habitat for Humanity, we decided to check it out. And up until, I'm just going to say it was a blessing to hear and get a phone call from Greg saying that you've been approved. I said, this is amazing. A home, a house. What I got to do? What do I sign? This is besides signing the marriage agreement, marriage covenant. I don't mind signing on the dotted line for this here. A home? Yes. I've lived in apartments all my life. Living in one apartment which is literally right across the street from Mr. C's nightclub in New Jersey. I say, this is a blessing. I want this. Let's do this. You got to put in your sweat equity hours. You got to take classes. You got to do this. You got to do that. Fine. I don't mind. I'll do it. It's for my family. It's for the good of the family. I'm willing to work for them. Well, from there, I put in my sweat equity hours, and at the time, it was Joe, and then from Joe, it was Chris. They're like general contractors, so to speak, but Chris would be out there, and he was like, Angelo, here, take this shovel. I was like, take the shovel? What are power tools? Hey, Angelo, take this hammer. I don't want no hammer. I want something that can, some torque. Angelo, here, throw the saw. I'm like, man, if you don't quit showing me dirt, there's going to be some words. But I said, all right, Chris, I'll do it. Lo and behold, little did I know that I would be doing the same thing now that we're in our home, dealing with the grass and the trees and the limbs and so forth. But to make a long story short, to go from there, we got approved, put in our sweat equity hours, and it was a real blessing. They taught us the things I've never thought about at home. I know every nook and cranny of my house. I know every bump, every sound. If there's a scratch on the wall, I know where it came from and which child it came from. But I just want to say that it's been a true blessing to be involved with Habitat for Humanity. From there, we've met some very wonderful people. On my bus route, I do Route 25 on my bus route. And one day I was driving my bus route, and the Lord spoke to me, look to your left. So I looked to my left. I looked upstairs, and sure enough, there's our old apartment number 16. I see that unit, and I see the mop hanging over the rail. I say, yeah, that was us. And I say to myself, Lord, how did we all manage to fit in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment? You could probably fit 40 units right here in this gym alone. The kitchen was probably about as wide as this stadium. It was rough. Tears came to my eyes when I thought about that. Lord, you took us from this to this. You blessed folks to come out, to volunteer. People I don't even know. People I haven't even seen before in my entire life to come out and just planted the seed of time, finances. Somebody donated a washer and dryer. Thank God for that. Just people that came out and just made an effort to help us out. I'm not used to that. But I've learned to yield for what was good for the family. And thank God for it all. I've learned to become a better person from it all. During the groundbreaking ceremony, it was quite nice. I've seen all this grass. I couldn't imagine a house there. I couldn't. I just seen grass and like 3 big trees I want cut down. But I seen all this grass. Oh, this is it. Lot number 10. This is our piece of land. This is what you blessed us with. This is what you've touched folks in the office of Habitat for Humanity to provide, to help us out with. Thank you, Lord, for this blessing. And from there, they poured the slab. And at the time, I was working for Rankin Materials, so I knew something about concrete. And it was wonderful to be able to drive the truck. They said, here, Angelo, take this out to Roseboro Street. I said, Roseboro Street? Yeah. Lot number 12. Lot number 12? I said, oh, I'm lot number 10. So I didn't get a chance to pour any concrete to my house slab. But I was able to pour some concrete for the lady that stays 2 houses down from us. And from there, I seen the house slab come up, and knowing about concrete, I made sure it was done the right way. Knowing the fact that Habitat's doing a great job anyways, I just, when it's your home, you want to make sure, you just want to be there for it all. They put the walls up, they put the nails in, they put the drywall up, they put the shingles up, and I tell you what, I took great pride and pleasure in helping out. And the construction of that and just seeing that go up, it's amazing. Now that we're in our home, I have some wonderful children. We had 3 children so far in the house. 2 learned to walk. Well, we came in with one. He was just a baby then. And we had one, Jacqueline. She's no longer with us. She's in the kingdom of heaven. We have Micah with us. And my wife right now is I'm guessing, 6 months pregnant. No, 4? Okay. Well, we're with child right now. I have our oldest son, Philemon. Wave your hand, Philemon. Our oldest son, little Angelo, who's trying to get the candy open. Our second, and Rosanna also. Yes, Rosanna. They're trying to figure out that candy. And in that house, we've learned so much. We've done so much. They've learned how to ride bikes. They learned how to walk. They've learned how to open the knobs. They've learned to cut the grass. They've learned to take out the trash. They became stuff I was able to teach them. I can't teach them in an apartment because of the fact that you can't do certain things in an apartment. You can't. I taught my son the other day how to work on the truck. I popped the hood to the truck, and we went through some things. Don't touch that. You're about to open the radiator. That thing is hot. But we've learned. We've grown in that house. I asked my wife the other day, and I'm going to close with this. I asked my wife the other day in the kitchen, what is the greatest decision you have ever made? One of the greatest decisions you ever made. My wife says, getting involved with Habitat for Humanity. I was shooting getting married to me, but I can yield to Habitat because it really is a blessing and an honor to get to know everyone. And before I leave, I want to say this. If you have an opportunity and a chance to plant a seed into somebody's life, please do so, whether it's finances or time. Because you're not only planting a seed, you're not only donating your money you won't see again, but you're also helping someone out with their future. Thank you.